Okay.
and it's going to go to your cloud. And then I'm going live on Facebook.
So, guys, if people tell you they can't get in because the room's going to max out, we're going to go. It'll be live broadcast on Level Up Live Facebook. So you may want to
And
text people. It's almost full. Go ahead,
and
Brent.
Partner Co-Nation. It'll be both places.
Oh, great.
Dr. Sarah will be putting it both places. Level Up Live, Partner Co-Nation.
Perfect. Going to be in both places. So, guys, you can be assured this is going to max out, and that's a great thing. Um, because just so much going on in our company. It's funny, I had this room set up for only 100 people for about several years. And then our company's been to grow, I've had to move my room up to 500 people. And guys, I haven't upgraded to 1,000 yet, but I guess that's the next step because we would have already maxed this room out in just a few minutes. And fortunately, just text people, Facebook, Partner Co Nation, and Level Up Life will both be live streamed. So because this room is going to be maxed out shortly. Glad to have you on this morning.
And
Hope
we
everybody
are live.
we are live. Okay, great. We are running on Facebook now, guys, and we're starting in about 2 minutes. Welcome on. When we hit max numbers, I figure that's the time to go ahead and start. So I'm assuming most people will be on by that time anyway. Most people know this call starts at 9 a.m. Central, and we always kick off at 9:05 officially. So glad to have all of you on this morning. We're excited to have John with us this morning. And I know that's why all of you are here, not here to see me. So know who you're here for. That's great. So Brent, we're hitting it. Before we start the call with John, would you mind giving us a couple of announcements? I know there's some Zooms coming up that people need to know about as well as the Destin events. Can you kind of go over all those for us real quick?
Absolutely, Chris Doyle. First of all, thanks for putting this together, and we just maxed out the line. So, reminder for everybody, continue to send out any last minute reminders to your teams. They can look at this live streamed in Partner Co-Nation and Level Up Life. Both channels are being live streamed right now. So, tag your team in those live streams. And, Chris, what's exciting, and we're going to talk about today some, is we just finished up Thanksgiving, going into Christmas. And I would say, and John can allude to this, John Wadsworth, one of our founders, that we just experienced one of the biggest months in our company's history around the world. North America, rank advancements, unbelievable. But here is what we all need to know. There's not a company in the network marketing industry. We should be flexing right now because I can promise you there's not a company in the network marketing industry that experienced the rank advancements in the month of November that we experienced, not only in North America, but thousands and thousands around the world. So you're going to hear more about that later. You're also going to hear more about that in the direct sales news as we come across into January. But in saying that, there's never been a better time to plug in and get your teams dialed in going into January. And the first date everybody on this call needs to be pushing to your team is December the 22nd. That is this coming Monday. We're going to have a Zoom with the company. Okay. You need to put all of your brand partners, all of your customers, past, present, future, on this Zoom because this is the Transformation Challenge Zoom. I know Kristen White, Dr. Crystal, Vance, the executives, the across the company is going to be on, and they're going to lay out the transformation challenge. And I don't want to give it away, but let me say this. It will be epic, the giveaways for this transformation challenge. Never been done, but it is being done this year, and all of your customers, all of your brand partners want to hear about it. So if you're like, what do I pencil in to blow my business up in 2026? You pencil in the December the 22nd and start today pumping it out to your team. The second thing I'll tell you, and the final thing is December the 29th. That is the following Monday. Okay. We're going to have a massive Destin, Florida call. Now, I want to tell everybody on the call, if you if you are like, should I promote now? Should I not? We're 70% full. capacity. And we have maxed the room as far as we can max it. So once and it will sell out, okay? It might sell out before December the 29th. But we have a call December the 29th that you can funnel all of your team to. It's on Monday. You need to pencil that in. But what I would do, I would highly recommend anybody on here with your teams, do calls with your team and tell them, go get your ticket for Destin because it will sell out. No doubt about it. We just don't know when. It's 70% full. So, Chris, I'll turn it back to you. Those are the two dates that I would definitely pencil in right now and get my teams on.
Thank you, Brent. I appreciate you making sure everybody catches up with that. Guys, we're just going to get started with John really quickly here, but I want to make an introduction because it's hard to, how do you introduce John? I mean, I met him when we were just brand partners. At least I was at that time still. He's now the chief brand partner or the owner or founder of the company. But what I want you to know is that when I met him, we were on a trip to Costa Rica. He and his wife ended up, we were sitting on a bus together. And I didn't know him from anybody. I just thought, who is this guy? We just talked. I thought he's I really enjoyed his personality. My wife said his wife is so nice. We just enjoyed the trip. Come to find out, this guy had been in the industry. I'm rarely run into people that have been in the industry longer than me. I mean, I'm a 20+ year guy. And I met this guy who's been basically done this his whole life. That's a way to describe it as a teenage. I mean, you're literally less than 20 years old when you started. I never would have, certainly didn't grow up to do this, I didn't think. But I met John, and then lo and behold, not long after that, I'm so glad we'd had that opportunity to meet. I found out that he had put together a group and they bought the company and formed Partner Co. Guys, I could not saying this because John's on the call, because I say this every week. We have a very unique company. People like to use the word unicorn too much. But I have to say it is a unicorn because not only do we have phenomenal products that I would never stop using, but more importantly, we have a group of products. It's not like we're founded on one thing, but not only that, our ownership's different. I've been with a company where somebody had done network marketing, founded a company and started it, and it did okay, but they never really they really didn't know how to run the business side. And then I've been with a company that was all business, and they thought they knew what the field did. But I don't mean it in a rude way, but until you've actually done network marketing, you really cannot do it. I mean, I see people nodding their heads. Yes, you really don't understand what the field does. So what do we have in our company? I think it's so unique. John has been, I call him a lifer. He's been doing this a long time, most of his life, and has gone in the field and built a massive multi-million-dollar company. And I'm calling it his business. And then we got Darren, who didn't know anything about this industry in his mind, but I think his story says he really did. He just wasn't exactly the way we were set up in MLM. But guys, we have a really unique company because he's a special person when it comes to the business side. So what makes our company unique? We got both parts in one. I didn't think it was possible to ever make that happen. And then you take and put together all the products we've got and their commitment. And by the way, someone said, thanks for putting this together. I think I've been on your calendar now since I know this. It was hot. It was cold. It was hot weather then, and it's been freezing here now. So months and months when Leah set this up. So thanks again for being on this morning. And I'm going to turn it to you just to say hello to everybody.
Hey, Chris, such a pleasure. It is true. I have been traveling all around the world, and it's fun when you're running. You guys are running. Okay, I get to go. I just got back from an event that we had with the Chinese over in Asia. And guess who I'm talking about when I'm in Asia? I'm talking about you. I'm talking about your team. I'm so proud of what you did over Thanksgiving. As Brent indicated, you broke records. You shattered records. Brent, let's show them the better together. Brent's got his on too. I got mine on too. It's that unity that you demonstrate better than anyone else I've ever seen that creates the power that produces the results that we just saw. Brent talked about thousands of title advancements. It's true. Thousands of title advancements. We've got our recognition director, Maki. She can't sleep at night because she's trying to send out so many pins. She's like, John, I need some help. I got so many title recognitions. That's the kind of results. That's the kind of teamwork. That's the kind of unity that we love because it changes so many lives. So I go over to Asia with Amy, and I actually brought Sam and Emma, my two youngest, and I get to stand in front of the China groups over there and talk about the power that comes from unity in the US. I get to talk about the IPA calls that have been going for 2 years plus now with hundreds of people every single morning because you've got a roster of people who take turns moderating those calls. That kind of unity, that kind of activity, that kind of power is the ripple effect that we're seeing all over the place for what PartnerCo has to offer and what you are taking to people. It's an interesting time, right, Chris, in the
I
world?
think it's more than interesting. I think, obviously I'm an older guy, been around the industry a long time, and I've just never seen really like you mentioned, the unity. And I think that starts at the top. I think you and Darren and y'all's commitment to the field and you guys traveling so much, but you've got a lot of great leaders that have all kind of joined hands and know that we're better together. I love our slogan. I mean, better together. I'll be the first to admit when we run out, we're going to be named Partner Co. I'm like,
What?
I had a really cool name I put in. I'm not going to mention. I thought that was a cooler name, but you know what? No, it wasn't. Sometimes things come together, and it is what we're supposed to be. We're partners, and that's really what our company is all about. It's about helping others, and it's about helping yourself. Don't get the wrong impression. Chris Doyle will always tell you he did this business for him and himself and his family, and you will be doing it for you and your family. But the second part of that is you get to help a lot of people do that as well. And I know that's your passion. Kind of, why don't you take us through just a little bit of your background? I know that you probably get tired of telling it, but I think it kind of founds who we are. Because I mean, Darren's got his story and he's told it on this call. And by the way, you can brag to him. You maxed the room, tell him he didn't make it happen. He was so that shows.
Well, we can't tell because we don't know how many are streaming, but I love it when the room gets maxed.
So we didn't have to stream last time. We had the room almost full, but we still had about 10 or 20 people available to get in the room. And so we did stream. So
I put those kudos right back on you because you guys have been blowing it up. I mean, the teams keep growing, the titles keep advancing, the stories keep expanding. I actually love being on these calls. And I will share my story, but my favorite part is hearing new people's stories that come on. I did a call with a group yesterday and I got to hear about the couple that joined last Friday and they had been looking and looking and looking for the right opportunity and they came to PartnerCo and they felt led. And it's been 4 days and they've sold 30 packs. That's almost 100 boxes in 4 days. You calculate the thousands of dollars that they made. You understand how that changes lives. And guess what? Every single customer that they sold to is going to have a life-changing experience too. So you talked about win-win. I'll share one funny story because I got little kids and they're so funny. So I go up to Sam the other day and I say, Sam, I love you. And Sam says, I love me too. And that's the kind of attitude that we want everyone in PartnerCo to feel. Of course, we want to share the love. We want everyone to also love themselves. And that kind of beautiful union of confidence and love and teamwork and ambition for the future, that's what changes lives. Right, Chris?
I think it changes the whole thing of the whole demeanor because our industry really has had a reputation of people not always getting along like our leaders do in this company. And but you saying what you talked about to someone coming in and making money quickly. I've had someone who was active with another company, Jonathan. He's probably on the call, made a promotion recently, and he's like, it's really cool to see these people come in, show them a system, and she sold 30 boxes in her first week.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen with everybody. But what we want you to know is it can happen if you find the right people. And so
exactly.
I know the systems are everything, and I know you're aware of that. So kind of tell us what you and Darren's vision is for this future. What do you think this is about now? Where we're going?
First, I want to echo what you said, Chris. We are the perfect combo. You look at Darren, you look at his pedigree, you look at his business sense, you look at his international experience. I joke with him all the time because he says, oh, I have no network marketing experience. And just like Chris alluded to, yes, you do. Look at the international business that you built with word of mouth marketing. That's network marketing. Look at all the lives that you absolutely changed by taking their income and increasing it by 5x. That's network marketing. I could tell you a story. I go around the globe and I listen to story after story after story. I was a beautician. I have 2 little kids. They would get home from school right about the time that I had to leave to go work with my clients. I come back late at night, they're in bed. I miss my kids. Somebody tells me, you know what? You can get healthy and you can share opportunity with other people and you can be part of a community that lifts and loves and inspires you and get paid more than you are right now. She says, that was interesting to me. So she looks into it, she looks at the system, she has a mentor, she has a community, she gets surrounded by other people that are succeeding. She joins into something like an IPA call where she's hearing success stories from yesterday. They're fresh, they're new, they're real, they're authentic. And in her mind, she's saying, I can do that. And then I come back a couple months later and she says, big high five. John, you met me in the very beginning. I was just getting started. Well, guess what? I'm making 5 times more than I did before. And I get to do it with my kids at my side. I have the freedom to travel. I got my eye on this beach house that I want to buy and rent out because I want additional streams of, that's how they're all of a sudden their vision expands. Here's a beautician who sees no future, who's feeling bad because she's trading time for money and she's watching her kids grow up and she's somewhere else. And all of a sudden she sees the partner co opportunity. She says, that's a no-brainer. I get healthy. I get paid to get healthy. I get paid to introduce other people to our lifestyle so they can get healthy. Is there anything better, Chris?
I don't think what you said is exactly what motivates so many people that for me, it was difficult. As a business owner for all those years, I never felt anybody feel like I was really empowering them.
Yeah.
With network marketing, I have an opportunity to become partners with people and better their lives. In the same process, it helps my life. I don't know what else you could say wow, if you wrote down all the best things about this business, you just named them. Seeing somebody's life change in the same process, helping your own life change. I've asked Cindy Landis, I've told her she's someone who made one of those massive promotions, made CEO here during this. I think y'all talked about that when she was on one of the trips. And I told John I was going to make CEO and guess what? She did do that. So I'm going to tell Cindy that she's going to ask a question this one. I said, come on, I want you to,
perfect.
first I want to brag.
Well, first I got to say, I love Cindy. I do remember spending time in the DR with her. And at the time, you were just getting started, right, Cindy?
Well, yeah, kind of. I took a leave of absence for a long time, just getting back going over the last year and a half.
But when you at least I have, when you're in this business for a long time, you develop a sense. You have this intuition. You sit down in front of someone and you can tell, oh, that's a leader. She's gonna be a powerhouse. And that's what I felt with Cindy. And that was almost a year ago. And man, look at what's happened since then.
Yeah.
Right, Cindy?
Yeah. And John, I mean, I thank you a lot because Chris knows I'm a traditional business person like Chris was. That's why he's my sponsor. We see things very similarly. And what's really interesting is when I heard you guys bought the company, that's what piqued my interest. But skeptical traditional business owner, I sat back. Chris then calls me, says, they're the real deal, right? So I'm like, I'm going to sit back. And then I thought, okay, he says they're the real deal. I'm going to check them out. So anyway, I checked you guys out. I'm like, you know what? I think they are. And I trust Chris and I'm going to give this thing a go again. And I jumped back in and got going. And then I met you and I met Darren and I saw the vision you had. So what I wanted to say though is that not everybody gets that chance to just meet you right in person. And I feel very fortunate that I did get that opportunity. But for the person out there who's new, or maybe has never had success in the industry, you're talking about vision. And one thing that I first noticed when I listened to you is that your vision was, I'm like, is he for real? But you deliver that vision. And then I realized he's the real deal. Like what he says is he means it. How does somebody else catch the vision? I know you just talked about maybe it was a hairdresser. Now she's thinking of a beach house. And those are the things that I think. And when somebody is going to build their business, because you did this at a very young age, through rough times, I know I've heard your story and maybe you can expand on that. But how does somebody right now, they look around their surroundings and they say, maybe I don't live in a big house. Maybe I don't have a big support system out in my family. Maybe I don't have, how do they, and I know what you did, but kind of piece it into what you've seen over the years. as to how they capture the vision for themselves, right?
Mhm.
Because they can look at any of the leaders on here. They can look at Brent and Chris and you and John Oakey, anyone here, and say, "Oh, I'm not as good." But everybody has to self-develop, right?
Yeah.
So talk about the walking the path of it and the time frames, I think, for the person maybe just getting started or who's been struggling for a few years.
Look, I will say one thing. It's more simple now than it ever has been. So I went on the journey myself. Every challenge that anyone who has ever started in this profession has faced, I've faced it. I faced it myself. I did start very young, and young means inexperienced, and sometimes inexperienced means you don't see all the obstacles. So you have a little bit of blind faith, which the scriptures talk about faith. And if you naturally come without all of the fears because you're young and inexperienced, that can be a good thing. I was on track to be a professional, just like you, Cindy. I was a great student. I worked my way through college. I actually grew up in a big family. I got 12 siblings. My dad was a government employee, so I started working when I was 11. So I had to buy my own clothes. My parents taught me how to be self-sufficient. So I thank them for that. And I actually never had any resentment. I started buying my own stuff at 11, but got a paper route when I was 11, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, going out and delivering papers and trying to get new customers, knocking doors after school. So that's an excellent struggle to go through as a young teenager, because it develops that skill, that hungry skill, and the desire to really make your life better through your own ambition and efforts. And I was always taught to be a good student. So I went through school, I was headed down the medical track. I worked my whole life to get into one specific graduate school. And this is pure serendipity, but as I was putting myself through college, I worked part-time in a product development lab. So I'm developing products. I was a science major. I was very, very interested in traditional healing and health and natural ways to make our body optimized. And so I just happened to, I didn't have any clue about the industry, but here I am in a product development lab doing research, helping to develop products. And then I get asked to go up on stage at a convention similar to what many of you have experienced if you've been to one of our events. And I'm there to showcase the product and talk about the science. Remember, I'm still a college student. I'm earning $8 an hour. I'm scrimping and saving and trying to figure out how to pay for school and trying to figure out my own career path. And I sit down in the audience, and a young Chris Doyle stands up and he talks about freedom. And he says, "Look, this is the best profession I ever could have chosen. I used to work traditional business. I went through all the cycles of traditional business and I landed on this. And someone introduced this to me. And now I get to travel the world and work with my friends and work in a business that's so low risk and unlimited upside. And I get to focus on my health. I get to talk about mindset. I'm surrounded by people who naturally have a positive mindset. I'm surrounded by people who want something better. I'm surrounded by people who believe in win-win. I'm not in an office environment where there's politics and drama and I got to climb the corporate. And I'm sitting there as I think about my future life, and I think about massive student debt and what it's going to take for me to get through graduate school. And I'm looking at people who've done that before me, and it takes them 30 years to get out of debt. And maybe when they're 60, they start to do what they've been dreaming about their whole life. And I'm a young 20-year-old, and I'm like, there's got to be a better way. And Chris, it's not just young Chris. Another story, another story, another story. And by the time I'm done listening to story after story after story, I wasn't in North Carolina, but I heard about it. Drop a one in the chat if you were in North Carolina. Who was at the North Carolina event?
It was incredible.
Was it story after story after story of transformation? Where else can you get that? So I have this life-changing epiphany. And sometimes we make big decisions in life when we feel that calling, that inspiration. But remember, I'd spent my whole life so focused on this one goal. I was on the cusp of achieving that goal. I'd been accepted to graduate school, and I had the courage to call up the graduate school. And I was a little bit, had some trepidation, but hey, can I defer for a year? Will you still accept me if I go away for a year and come back? And looking back now, that was the pivotal moment in my life. Because if they had said no, then I would have had to risk everything that I had built up to. But they said yes. And it gave me that little window of freedom to make a crazy decision. Most people don't have to deal with that. If you're on the call and you're just looking at this for the first time and you're trying to do what Cindy said and kind of stoke your ambition and figure out, how can I succeed at this? I do want something more in my life. You can do it without giving up anything, really. I mean, follow the system, follow your leaders, plug in, like Brent said. It's so simple these days. Back then, I had to make this monumental choice, but the school gave me just enough freedom. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go for a year. I'm just going to try this out. I didn't know anything about network marketing, but man, I had confidence in the product. And that's probably like a lot of you. The drops are magic. There's so many stories. I got to hear some on the call I was on yesterday, and it's these brand new stories. And we could stop the call right now, right, Chris? I could go off camera. We could open up the crowd, and you could do 50 stories
Easy.
of people whose lives have been transformed by the product, right?
Right.
And that's the foundation of an incredible business opportunity. So I had all kinds of confidence. I worked in a lab. I had a desk, and down below the desk, I had cardboard boxes, and they were full of testimonials that people sent in about the product. These are unsolicited. It's just words of gratitude. Hey, I started taking the product, and here's what happened to me. Thank you so much. And so, yeah, I had stacks of science over here, but those three cardboard boxes full of testimonials that I had to shift over to get my foot to fit under the desk. I'm like, this product works and I can change the world with this. And so when I left, I grew up in Japan. My dad was in the foreign service, and so I said, I'm going to go back to Japan. And so I took those testimonial boxes, I stuck them in a suitcase. I had just a little bit of savings. I knew everything there was to know about the product. I did not know how to build a team. I did not know how to go out and invite and do everything that you're learning through the training, the Super Saturdays and everything. But I was young. I was a dreamer. I was willing to do whatever it took. And I went to Japan. I dropped into the streets of Tokyo, and I just started talking to people because I'm like, hey, this business is simple. That's what I thought. It's so simple. You just go out and talk to people. Is it that simple? Kind of is. It kind of is. I did that for 4 months. I'm cold contacting. You don't have to do it this way. I did. But 100 people a day, I had a goal. I'm just dying to do a presentation. I go home at night and I'm using a camera to practice my presentation because I can't get anybody to actually listen to me live. But I'm out inviting. I go home at night. I have no audience. Okay, I'm going to practice to the camera. I record myself doing a presentation, and then I watch it and pretend like I'm in the audience and say, how would I respond? Would I buy? Would I want to join? And then I redo it a little bit and I tweak it, and okay, that's getting a little bit better. And I still don't have a live audience to test it on until I'm about 4 months in. So there's a timeline from you, Cindy. Most people, that's probably pretty average.
It is. And most people, but you just said a key word I want to point out real quick before you finish your story, is that you practiced. You worked on self-development, right? And in every business profession, and I consider this a business profession in a sense, right? Anybody can do it, but you have to get better, right? 4 months. That's perfect. That's great.
It's also the exciting thing. I mean, what other profession is so filled with self-improvement, with professional development? with leadership development.
None.
And guess what? I'm kind of jumping all the way forward and then I'll come back. But when I reflect on 27 years in this profession, and I reflect on the fact that I got married, I had 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls. Because of this profession, the life that I was able to experience, it's a blessing. There's nothing better than this. There's nothing better than this. If I started over, would I do this again? 100%. I got to travel. I got to see the world. I got to hang out with amazing people. I got to watch people's lives transform. My own life was transformed. I got to raise my children in this environment. You know how healthy that is for children to be raised in this type of an environment where mindset is something you talk about at the dinner table? I don't say this boastfully, but my kids are thriving, and I credit it to this. I credit it to having been so blessed to be introduced to this opportunity early, to be part of a community like we have right here, to have high goals. I mean, do you have to do things out of your comfort zone to succeed here? Yes. Is it possible? Listen carefully, because I think is it possible to get comfortable getting out of your comfort zone? Yes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, I
Yeah.
love taking myself out of my comfort zone now because I've been trained by this industry. Chris Doyle, everything's comfortable for him. He started a business, he had no problem talking to people. Everybody's not that way. Like, most people start in this business and they're not even comfortable talking to people yet. But then they get comfortable and then they're like, give me some more. I want to get more out of my comfort zone. Give me another challenge. And it's that cycle of self-development and self-improvement. And all of a sudden, you love getting out of your comfort zone. You're like, I want to get healthier. I want to help more people. I want to make more money. I have big dreams. And it's just that inner drive, that inner ambition that gets so stoked by what we're doing. So I'm in Japan, 4 months, finally meet. Remember, I had no network marketing experience, but I found one person that did. That was my first enrollment. And they were way more experienced than me. Okay. That's blessing from heaven. So he's like, hey, John, you're going about this all wrong. And all of a sudden, the one that I had sponsored is training me. That's a cool setup.
That's a good
So
thing.
he's like, look, this is what we got to do. We need a guidebook. We need a system. We need a schedule. We need to get people to events. Here's the flow that we need to do. It needs to be simple and duplicatable. Here's your script. Let's duplicate this. And we started with that duplication process, just like the system of growth that you have. It absolutely exploded. I'm in Japan. The population's super dense. Everybody lives really close. So listen to some of these stats. We went from 0 to 5,000 people in 2 months.
Wow.
Okay. That's momentum.
Wow.
Now, what caused that? It's very simple. It's very, very simple. How many people can you put in front of a presentation in a day? That's number one. Number two is, how many presenters do you have? If I was the only presenter, I max out. At the time we were doing face-to-face meetings, I maxed out at about 75 people a day because the room would only sit 25, and I could do about 3 sessions a day. So if I get 75 people in front of a presentation, we had a really high close rate. Like 70% of the people that heard the presentation would close. They would join because it was exciting, just like PartnerCo. We have exciting momentum right now. So really high close rate. If I have 10 presenters doing 75 people a day, can you see how that starts to snowball? So that's what happened. We're like, look, we're going to train everyone to be good presenters, and we're just going to scale and scale and scale. And it went from 5,000 to 50,000 in 1 year. So the team did $100 million in 1 year. And then I did that for 25 years. We did about $3 billion in sales in 30 countries. It's that simple. It just starts with a decision. It starts with a decision and a willingness to get up every single day and present and train other people to present. And that's what you're doing so amazingly here. You're a model for the world. You've got the IPA calls, you've got the drop talks, you've got the Super Saturdays. Brent just showcased December 22nd, December 29th, the next key dates that you want to drive everybody to. And guess what? There's more. Just wait till we start in 2026. I won't start sharing those dates yet because I'll leave that up to Brent to time it perfectly. But focus on December 22nd, focus on December 29th, focus on how many people you can invite. That word invite will become a rally cry in 2026. Practice your presentation, or better yet, do a three-way with Chris Doyle. Do a three-way with Cindy Landis. Do a three-way with Brent Palmer. We have so many incredible presenters. You put your friends in front of them, they'll catch the vision, they'll lock arms with you, and they'll start.
That's impressive.
So that's what people need to realize is that everybody that, you didn't start, I kept on the zero. And that's what people need to realize. And you didn't just, success didn't come overnight. It came after a time and you got a system. And I think that's what people need to realize. What makes the difference? And a lot of people won't buy into the system. If that was one thing, I was hard-headed. You talked about me not being nervous. That's not true. I was scared to death of network marketing. I'd been business owner. I could go borrow $1 million and try to build a business. But when I joined network marketing, I was so broke, I couldn't borrow $100. I was just needing something to help. I never intended to do it 20-something years, but I love what you said. You said, once you really get a feel for what you're doing and you love what you do. I really began loving what I did. I've known Cindy, so we worked together 20-something years.
Wow.
So that's how long. And she didn't want to, she just kind of dabbled at our company until she saw what was going on. But guys, we had a special place at a special time. And that's what I want you to realize. It is different. I mean, where in the world could you go? When I had my big company, everybody talks about that. My people didn't love me. They just was jobs. They hated me. I didn't even know that. I thought they liked me. No, they didn't. They worked at a place I thought they were underpaid. Here, I never get people complaining about they're underpaid. If they do, they just they need to go build their business. That's the cool part. I love that. Hey, I've asked Brent Palmer to also join on you. When I tell you got the who's who of the leadership here, I mean, we got Brent, we got Todd Walken, James Zing's on here. I mean, we got John and Christioki. We got so many made, and I've been leaving a bunch of them out because there's so many I can't see. But Brent Palmer, I mean, I'm going to put you on the spot here. He doesn't care. I'd already told him he's going to talk about the announcements. But I mean, you listen to John, and you're a guy that's been doing the industry a long time. You worked extremely hard. I think you just left Puerto Rico where you were there for a couple of days. I think you really went for the beach. I don't really think he went for a meeting. I think he went there because I've noticed he might have met for a few minutes. Next time I see him, he's always on the beach. So Brent, why don't you give us some questions for John? I know you're really excited about what's going on. I can't keep your enthusiasm down right now, so you're so pumped about it all.
Chris, I am, and John is the best at painting the vision of this, but I can't let this call, I have to let him talk about this part. And that is what I love about network marketing is we can all start and refresh and hit the reset button. And so if you're somebody that's like, man, I've seen team growth, there's thousands of rank advancements, and I haven't got the part I want to get. Let me tell you something. It's okay, right? And let me tell you, I didn't get the part I wanted to get in 2025. Imagine that. Because to me, if you're growing and you're stretching and you're trying to grab new things, like for you and your team, you never get to the top. You're always chasing the top. That's the exciting part about this. And so what I would like, as I listen to all of this, the fact that we're all sitting on the call today, the fact that you can go drive your team to December the 22nd, you could hit the reset today and go, 2026 is going to be the best year. It is like church year. Like you can hit the reset. Cindy said, I took a little time off, but now I'm coming full force, right? She hit that and she moved it. and now she's growing a massive team. So here's what I want to ask John, because if I'm sitting here wanting to explode 2026, I'm thinking about stuff like I need to get I need to get a calendar out. Like I need to
Mhm.
get with my team and let them know that this year is going to be the best year going into
Mhm.
20, through 2026. We need to book drop talks. We
Mhm.
need to have trainings for our team. We need to schedule them on a calendar. We need to like recommit to the system of growth and start at day one again. Start at the posting twice a day again and challenge my team to do it. And then we need to start reaching out to people because we have a new company. And I want John to kind of put a bow tie on this. We have a new company. This is not a company that Partner Co is new. We're still in pre-launch mode. We haven't even started building California, for goodness sakes, Texas,
Mhm.
Tennessee, Arkansas. Like, so to be able to go to people through the holidays, to start the new year when most people are praying for better finances and better health in their life, and they want to lose weight and they want to make new changes, to their family. This is the best time to be able to reach out to people and go, I've got a new company and we're expanding in your area. Like we're not there, but we're coming. And you can sit at the top of this. Everybody wants to be at the top. And Partner Co, we're all positioned at the top. John, would you elaborate on that? I know we had talks about that this week, me
Mhm.
and you, of how Partner Co is this new $400 million company that's in major growth, but we're all at the top, like we're just getting
Mhm.
started.
Thank you, Brent. You said some key words, and this is a great opening statement when you're talking to someone. Hey, we're launching a new company because we are literally. We have a massive, massive vision at PartnerCo, but we're brand new. It's an extremely unique story. I don't think it will ever happen again. The timing is better today than it ever has been. But you have a brand new company with a global footprint, with time-tested products, with the best comp plan. Our comp plan routinely is rated number one. You've got an executive team that you guys know and love, that you get to interface with every single day, that are extraordinary. We have the best marketing. It's hard to find any company, even outside of our industry, that has more attractive marketing that we have. So you can be so proud to go out and invite people. Go out and share this. Hey, we're launching a new company in your area, just like Brent said. But you got to move, and you got to move fast, because these opportunities, they don't stay open forever. We do have a very long-term vision, but the time is now to really capitalize on it.
Well, I don't know how to put it into words how much my excitement is. I mean, something I want to add to this. I hope everybody realizes. Now, Cindy mentioned that I sponsored her. Brent and I are not financially tied. That's one of the things I want you to realize. He's not on my team. My sponsor's here. Todd Rowland's out walking in Texas. So we're really a company that's doing things together. And part of that is because we're so new. I think that there's no question people are working together for this bigger vision. And that's what we want to talk about, is that bigger vision. So John mentioned just a little bit about your future with the company. I mean, because so many people have been in this industry. I mean, I've seen it so many times, and I've been with a company I thought was my last company. And guys, I will promise you, this is my last company. And it really is the same company. It's just a new name. That's just kind of, I mean, it's just a unique situation. Talk about what your plan is for the company. I know we're talking about 2026 being huge and a lot of things coming up. What about the 5-year plan?
Okay, so that's the fun thing about this business, is we get everyone to just focus on the very near term. We got everyone focused on December 22nd, December 29th. Those are the two big lock-in dates when you want to assemble your team and really get going. But guess what? There's another date after that. There's another date after that. There's another date after that. It's all mapped out. Like 2026, the cadence, the timing, the events, everything is beautifully already mapped out. We've got products. We've got a new system to bring science in so that people can get tons of education and inspiration around the products. We've got events planned. Of course, we have Maui. Those of you who participated in Dallas PXP, guess what? We're doing it again in 2026, this time in Orlando, Florida. these types of gatherings where we can all come together. Chris, you talked about blurring the lines, which I credit to Brent Palmer. It's this worldwide movement that became such a core part of our values and our secret to success. It's that better together. So we all lock arms. We all work together. We've got daily IPA calls that I brag about all over the world. That's the best thing ever. It's like checking into Tony Robbins every morning because you get to hear all these stories of mindset and people overcoming challenges and people who are succeeding and maybe people who failed, but how they interpret that failure as a good thing because they're going to try again and because they learned so much. I mean, that's perfect. You would pay thousands and thousands of dollars for that type of training, and it's available to you here, compliments of all of your leaders. So 5 years, 10 years, 50 years, 100 years. If you build a company that's on solid values, that has a massive global vision, that creates a community where everyone can thrive, that also challenges people to perform. It has that culture of performance, but it rewards performance better than anywhere else you can go. That's a solid foundation. That's something that just gets better and better and better through continuous improvement. Each one of you is working on making yourself better, on helping your teams raise their goals, helping your teams develop new skills. And it's that continuous improvement cycle that we believe in so strongly at PartnerCo that becomes such a tight part of our culture that gives us that long-term vision that Chris, you're talking about, that 5-year vision.
Well,
Do we want to be $1 billion company? Uh-huh. Are we done at 1 billion? No. Are we going to multi-billion? Yes. Is that meaningful in the lives of the individual? Yes, it is, because that momentum, that energy, that synergy around the globe, it just helps lift your confidence, helps lift your faith and belief. It makes you a magnet because you get off one of these calls and you're just full of energy and you go out and talk to your friends and they can't resist that magnetic energy that you get at PartnerCo.
I'm totally convinced that how you feel and how your energy level is how it's conveyed to other people. That's everything. But there's no question that what PartnerCo is doing is something very special. And we've got a lot of growth. But I want everybody to understand when you hear about these huge numbers, guys, whatever you're looking for here, that's what you need to realize. Some people are not going to ever go out and build this massive organization. And we're going to love you where you are. If you're looking to build $1,000 a month, even though there's so much more available, we're getting people in these colleges that are making so much a day. But the thing I want you to realize is that, guys, change your life here. That's what PartnerCo is about. And we've got lots of people who just became customers, just want to feel. Now, I didn't join for that. I'll be the first to admit, my daughter laughs, which, like, of all people, I never expected to be in a health company. You were the most Mr. Little Debbie. I was, but people don't realize I weighed 318 pounds when I started on the jobs. And yeah, I still need to lose some weight. And I've gained about 30 pounds. But here's what I need you to realize. I can take it back off of these products, but I feel great. The products have made a difference in my life. And there's two things that we offer here. Change your life financially, but we've changed in my life. And I didn't even join because I wanted a health change. It came as after effect. And guys, that's okay. I mean, it's just the way it works. I mean, meet you where you are. I mean, that's one of the things I love about network marketing. I think so John, we got 10 minutes here to kind of explain what do you think it really means to a person? And to really, I mean, to me, there's so much skepticism is the right word about our industry. It bothers me, but it's earned. A lot of bad companies, a lot of companies set up for the wrong reasons. But I mean, it's the greatest industry in the world is what I try to explain to people. You just don't know that. And someone had me on a call and asked me to talk about that. And I said, you don't know what you don't know. And I joined out of need and necessity and fell in love with the freedom. And that's what people don't think about. They talk about my success in other business, but I was on call 24/7, 7 days a week. And by the way, kind of like being the owner at PartnerCo, on call 24/7, 7. I bet you're going to tell me being a rep's better than being an owner.
Yes.
I know that the efforts are. So why don't you talk about that a little bit? PartnerCo is here for what you want it to be for you. I think we sometimes lose that.
Let me share my view on what you said, which is, why is this such an incredible business structure? Think about it. I mean, we live in super uncertain times right now. People think, oh, I can go work for a company and get security. No, it's just there's no security working for a company. Oh, I'll go drive Uber. That'll give me freedom and security. I read an article yesterday. It's already happening in San Francisco and Los Angeles. We got these robo taxis. Guess what? There's 5 million Uber drivers and truck drivers that are going to be out of a job as soon as these robo taxis take over the whole taxi industry and even the truck driving. Is that security? Then we got AI. Every day we're getting inundated with 40% of jobs are going to be replaced by AI and robotics. That's scary. Where do you go for safety? Where do you go for security? Well, what's one trend that you could pick that's never going to go down? It's health and wellness. People will always want to be healthy. They will always want to live longer. They will always want to look better. They will always want to feel better. And if you can be part of that trend, and if it's as simple as sharing with other people, and you're part of a community that trains you and develops you and produces something that cannot be replicated by AI, it cannot be replaced by a robot, you're safe, you're secure, you're set for life. You've got a profession that you can take care of your family with, that you can take care of yourself with forever. Now, are there bad companies in network marketing? Yes. Is sometimes the bad reputation deserved? Yes. Is partner code different? Absolutely. We call it partnership marketing because we've taken the essence, the really, really good parts of network marketing, and we've wrapped it in a whole new structure and community and value system that makes it something different. So it maintains the beautiful freedom delivering components of network marketing. It maintains the unlimited upside. It maintains the community, but then it wraps it in something that makes it so much more beautiful than all the bad reputation that's out there. And people who come to our events, people that come to even this call, they can feel the difference. And all of those preconceived ideas about it, they just melt away as soon as they actually experience it themselves. Now, what do I want my kids to do? I want them to do this. Why? Because there's no better way to develop yourself as a human than to interact with other people in a very supporting community that develops all of the communication skills, all of the goal setting skills, all of the leadership skills, everything that ripples out into other parts of your life. What do we want? We want good relationships with our friends. We want good relationships with our family. We want good relationships with our church if we go to church. We want to be healthy. We want to be happy. We want someone holding us accountable. We got the Body Balance Challenge coming up. It's a great time for Chris and everybody on this call to really focus on hitting that next level of fitness. I mean, where else do you get paid to do something like that? Right? That's my view. I see an uncertain world and I see what's available here and I say, easy choice.
There's no question about it. I mean, I say that all the time, risk versus reward. The most problem is they want network marketing people want it to be not work. You still have to work.
Yeah, there's a lot of work.
It is work.
A lot of work.
But so is the job. So is everything that you do that's worthwhile. And then I think John, probably people say you went to Japan and you got lucky. You worked. And maybe I call it blessed. I mean, I found this industry and didn't expect it. Now I love it. And I would never have gone, 24 years for me, I guess now is what it is. And it's just really unique. I saw Todd joining in back and forth. He's my sponsor. And we'll also, what did the business do for us? It changed everything for us.
Everything.
But we didn't see that in the beginning. So, a lot of times it's just about the start that gets most people. Start, be consistent, and don't expect it to be overnight. Some people have more success than others, and you hear all these success stories, but, create your own success story. Well, John, we got 5 minutes. What do you tell those people out there that's where we're going in the next?
Well, I'm going to talk about work, and then I'm going to ask Dr. Sarah to open up so I can see everyone, or maybe I can just change the view on my side, but I would love to just see everyone and feel them. And Chris, I'm going to talk for a little bit, but do you have one brand new person who could share their story? Just think about that for a second. So work. Here's the secret. You guys have all worked hard. If you have a job, you've worked hard. I mean, people do double doubles. They go overtime. They do really, really, when you really want something, you work hard. There's something different about working hard in this profession. When I started, I was working hard. Like I was doing 18-hour days, but guess what? I loved it. I wasn't even tired. If you're in momentum and the business is growing and you're meeting new people every day and you're driven by that curiosity and your ambition and your checks going up every week and you're getting health results and financial results, you can work 18-hour days and you just don't get tired. You're just on fire. And it's not the same when you're clocking in and clocking out and trying to go get some overtime pay because it's time and a half. You're wasted. You're worn out. You're burned out. You hit a limit. That's the difference. So yes, it does take work, but it doesn't feel like work. When you follow the simple systems that your leaders are teaching you, when you get into that momentum phase, it's the best. Okay, Chris, I am fueled by new people's stories. Did anyone show up on the
Hey, I've
screen?
got a bunch of people texting me. I got people texting me. Christy Oki, who you said you had somebody that's brand new that could give us a quick testimonial. So I'm gonna
Yes.
put somebody on the spot.
I'm putting her on the spot. I just asked her if I'd call on you. She hasn't got, okay, Rachel Kneifel, are you on here? She's probably like, I haven't showered. I don't look good. You know how it is, John.
All good.
I see her and I
Right.
just asked for her to unmute.
So did I.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, she started Black Friday and she was just calling for a box of drops
Mhm.
and she bought a 30 pack. So Rachel, are you on here?
That's courage.
I
I like
am.
courage.
Yeah, definitely wasn't expecting anybody to see me this morning, but good morning, everyone.
Hey, Rachel.
Hello.
So tell them about you.
Oh, I am a nurse of 21 years. I have 5 kids. 2 of them, they're grown, but 2 of them are adult handicap. They're both in wheelchairs, trach, G-buttons, and all that. And I was tired of having staff at my house, nursing staff at my house, and I worked at South Dakota State Prisons, and that was a very high stress job. So, did a lot of thought, prayer, everything, and decided to stay home. And then this opportunity came to me within 2, 3 months of staying home, and I am definitely my income is above what I was as a nurse at the state prison. So yeah, and it's going really well. So
In 1 week, what did you sell in
1
1 week?
week,
at least 30 boxes. So yeah,
thousands of dollars, week
Yeah.
1. Love it.
yes,
Yep.
thank you. And I guess my main goal is my husband's standing right here, but he works a lot of hours, and I need help sometimes at home. So my goal is to bring him home to help me at home. So
Good goal.
Hey,
yeah.
Congratulations. That's one of the
Thank you.
most
Rachel, how did you hear about Partner Go?
I don't even know. I think it was, I know that I'm a member of the LDS Church, and I think John Oki had made just a post about his faith, and somehow we were connected through how many other people, and that I'm like, oh, John Oki, I remember that name because I used to live in the Omaha area. I'm South Dakota, and it just went from there. And then I saw his post, and I thought, oh, I want to feel better. I feel really yucky.
Brent, who wants to say it? You or me?
I saw a post.
I
Go ahead,
saw a
John.
post.
Oh,
And if you're not posting, you're stupid.
And if you're not posting, you're stupid. Where's that t-shirt?
I think
You're an
you're an
idiot.
idiot. I think is what Todd actually said. You're an idiot if you don't post. Yeah, Rachel, we're excited for you.
Yeah,
We're happy
we're so
for you.
excited.
Thanks for taking a
Good.
chance. And seriously, I mean, if you're looking for excuses of not to do this business, Rachel has every excuse in the world. 2 adult children, and handicapped.
Totally
Spend a
disabled.
lot of time with them and dealing with them, but she's finding ways because she has her why. Right? Her husband works out in the fields, with oil, and she wants to get him home. I mean, South Dakota, by the way, if you've never been to South Dakota in the winter, it's not
Brutal.
fun.
Yeah.
So she wants to get him home. So you've really got to find what that why is to and make it worthwhile. And going back to John's point, sorry, taking over. John's point real fast. He said when he started out, his goal was to talk to 100 people a day. a day. Go back and look. How many people have you talked to in the last week? I bet you it's not 100.
That's right.
So if you want this is a numbers game. So you really got to up your game. And if you're like, well, I'm in my house, I don't go out. Go out. You know what? You know what Susan Frank started doing? She wears the big buttons, right? That says, ask about skinny drops. She purposely goes grocery shopping and finds the longest line to get in so she can talk to somebody. Get out there and get yourself out there and
Look for
talk to people.
reasons. Yes,
Yeah.
we've never even met Rachel. We're gonna meet her the next couple of weeks. But I mean, this is how relationships are built. This is how you find people. And if you're not posting, you're an idiot.
I saw a post.
Saw a post. I mean, that
Chris.
is Todd. I know you're dying, Todd. He's walking. You got to say something, Todd. He's not got his camera on because he's out walking somewhere, but you know it's about to bust. Tell us something. Come on, Todd. Unmute.
Chris, while he's coming on,
I'll
I
try.
want to thank you and Kristen for being consistent for this call for so many years. Otherwise, we wouldn't have John and 500 people today if you hadn't kept doing this. You've been doing this call for multiple years. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Dick, Ken. All right,
I don't think I
Todd.
have my camera on, but I am unmuted. John, just one last question, because there are so many people on this call that are doing that 18-hour a day out here. Can you just kind of end the call talking about the longevity of the company and what you and Darren have in place?
Look, if you want to check out a company, you got to look at the real foundation. And I'll say this as a founder, you got to look at the founders. Now, look at my life experience. I spent my entire career at one company. What does that mean? That means that I knew how to build in a way that lasts. I've spent my entire life doing it. So guess what guides Partner Co? It's that same longevity. It means you make the right decisions. It means you make the right long-term plans. It means that you can see the future. Partner Co is built to last. We're here for the long haul. I'm young. There's a huge runway ahead of us. Okay. We're in this together and we're in it for the long haul. We are built to last. It's somewhere where you can plant your flag and really go all in. And the time to do that is now. 2026 will be absolutely our best year yet. We've been building the foundation, building the foundation. If you look at your own life, I challenge you to go home tonight and just reflect on your life. And I bet if you look at your life through the right lens, you'll realize everything I've experienced in my life up until this moment has prepared me to win at this.
I think that's a great place to finish. John, I want you guys to realize one thing here. Do you realize this guy owns this company? He and Darren are the owners. And today is December the 20th. I mean, this is 5 days before Christmas. And I assure you, he got things with his family. He asked me how long. He didn't complain. He asked at the last minute. I don't even know how long we're doing this. His commitment to this field, and Darren as well, and they're so committed. And I know many of you need to realize that that's a big deal. I mean, 5 days before Christmas, guys, it's not even easy to get anybody on the phone. John, thank you so much for being on. We're going to have you back again. I'll have to expand this room.
Thank you. We could go for 10 hours. I mean, you hear Rachel's story? We could do that 100 times with people on this call, and you guys would be so fed, you would never want the call to end. But guess what? That's why we have another call next week. And you should be there because it's going to be just as incredible because of Mr. Chris Doyle. Thank you, Chris.
You plug in every week and you'll learn good things. I heard somebody try to say something. That might have been Todd.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when you're looking for an owner, you want an owner smart enough to be a veterinarian, crazy enough to sit on a street corner for 18 hours trying to sell a business in a foreign language, and loyal enough to stick with the same company for 23 years in network marketing. I mean, that's a hard to find person right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It really is. And that's what really makes our company special. See, Todd's just working the business. I think he said he's in Texas. We're all in different areas, guys. The world has shrunk because of this Zoom thing. And if you don't take a part of what's going on right now and plug into all the things that are happening, get in here and do something special. Brent, you want to add anything? I see the smile on your face down there, Brent. You're always grinning.
Doc, I'll say this. I always love a call to action, to end with this many people, live stream going in different places. Guys, get your piece of this company. That's my prayer for all of you. And I know it is yours, Chris, and it's John's and all the leaders, because guys, my 23-year-old son's on here today. John talked about he wanted his kids to be a part of this company. Like, I see what this company is going to do. I want my son, he's got a degree, a college degree, but I see that he can change his life forever if he decides to come in here, and he is, and build this. And I could not be more proud as a dad, because I know where this company is going, and I know the foundation that John and Darren is laying for a 50, 100-year company. And so have that type of belief that you're willing, you're like, I'm bringing my kids, I'm bringing my family, I'm bringing my closest in to be at the top of this movement. And then at the end of the day, decide to announce to the world, to your team, that 2026 will be your biggest year, that you will have the breakthrough, the explosion you want for your family. And it starts December the 22nd, Monday. Like, get every customer, every brand partner. Dr. Sarah's going to put it in the comments. Let's blow this corporate call the doors off of it on December the 22nd, when most people are going, are you guys taking off? We're like, it's not taking off for us. We're going to celebrate Christmas, but we're giving the best Christmas present ever of hope, trust, and a plan for a world out there that does not know what we have to offer. And we're bringing it to them on the 22nd to kick 2026.
Thank you, Brent. Guys, there's so many leaders on. I can't call on everybody. We're actually already over, and I've already told John an hour. I've already kept him 10 minutes longer than they were supposed to. John, thank you so much.
You're
Merry
so
Christmas
welcome.
to you and your family. I know you don't get much time off, and you do get to let them travel with you, but there's no way to put into words how much we appreciate someone getting on a Saturday morning right before Christmas and doing this for us. I know that's just the kind of heart you
Love
love.
you guys.
I don't know how
Love
to do
you
that.
all.
I've learned to do
You
that.
guys
So
are amazing.
have a great day, guys. Enjoy your Christmas. See you back here. And yes, we'll be back here next Saturday. I don't know the exact details for next Saturday, but we will have them and we'll post them for you. So thank you for being on this Saturday. We'll see you next week and get on these other calls. Sarah, if you don't mind, unmute everyone.
Thank you, John.
Of
Thank
course.
you, Chris.
Thanks,
Love you
everyone.
guys. Grateful
Thank
for you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Thank you so much. Merry Christmas, everyone.
So much.
Welcome,
Merry
Lord, and may the Lord
Christmas.
keep you. May
Merry
his face shine
Christmas.
upon you, and may he be merciful to you and grant you peace. God bless.
Amen.
God
Amen.
bless you. Merry